Hello friends, this is Anubhav. Welcome back to my channel. In this tutorial, we are going to understand classes and object-oriented programming. So, let's begin. First, let's start by creating a class. So, class player. I'm naming this class as player. Let me assign some variables in this class. So, health equals to 70, energy equals to 20, speed equals to 40 and bullets equals to 10. So I have assigned here 4 variables: health, energy, speed and bullets to 70, 20, 40 and 10 respectively. So first let's create the object. So here player equals to, let's call the player class here. So player equals to player. So first let us print the player dot health. The player's health, it means. So let me run this. Perfect. The player has 70 health. So now let's print in the terminal the amount of energy the player has, or player.energy. So if I run this, we get 20. So here we would print in the terminal the speed of the player. So player dot speed. Now if I run this, I'm getting 40, which is the speed of the player. Perfect. And how if I write here player dot bullets, and we can also call the number of bullets the player has. So if I run this, we get 10. Perfect. So let me call a function in the player class. So define shoot within brackets. Let me write here self. This parameter self refers to the class or the object. And let me add another parameter, that is damage. When we call this function, we should print here. So print the player has shot the robber. And in the next line, let's print within fourth brackets, let's write anything here, of damage was dealt. So we can write this in two types. In the if function, if, and within the fourth brackets, here let us write damage. Now if I write this, instead of print player.bullets, let me write player dot shoot. Let us take for now 30 of damage was dealt, or 30 is the damage. So if I run this, perfect. The player has shot the robber, and in the next line 30 of damage was dealt. So if I change this to 50, and now if I run this, it prints the player has shot the robber, and in the next line 50 of damage was dealt. Perfect. How if I write this damage within the fourth parenthesis in the save. After this text, let me write dot format. Let's call the format function here. So here let us write damage. Now if I run this, perfect. The player has shot the robber, and in the next line 50 of damage was dealt. Perfect. So if I add here arguments, so for example 70, 20, 40, 10. If I run this, it shows an error. Even keyword arguments, for instance, health equals to 70. So if I run this, it shows an error still. For this, we need to use dunder methods or double underscore methods. So let me press an enter here, and let us call this function the method define double underscore method init. Within brackets there will be self. I want to add other parameters such as health, energy, speed, bullets. So before this variables, let us add here self.health, self.energy, self.speed, and self.bullets. So here we need to pass in let us add tab spaces before this. Let's delete this pass function. So self.health equals to health, self.energy equals to energy, self.speed equals to speed, and self.bullets equals to bullets. So now here let us add other keyword arguments. Health equals to 70. So here energy equals to 20, speed equals to 40, and bullets equals to 10. Oops. Yeah, in the way we have done. So now if I run this, there is no error. So how about printing the values in the terminal? Yeah, it is easy. So print player dot health. Let me copy this and paste it 3 times more. So here instead of health, let me add player dot energy, player dot speed, and player dot bullets. These were all the attributes that we had set. So if we run this, we can get the values of the attributes, and also it is printed that the player has shot the robber and 50 of damage was dealt in the next line. Oops. So perfect. How about other dunder methods? For instance, let's add here define double underscore method len, and here within brackets self. So here let me return for example 10. So if we print len of any list, for example the list with 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 9. So if we run this, it has 10 items. So if we find the length of a string, for example my name, that is Anubhav Mighty, and if we run this, we will get 13 letters. So here if we print the length of player, and if we run this, we will get 10 because we have called the len we have defined the len method here, and we are returning the integer 10 as the output. Perfect. So if we return here self dot health, it will print the player health. Perfect. So how about the abs, the other methods? So define double underscore method abs. Within brackets again, let us write self. So now I am returning 20 as the output. Let us copy this and print this back. So if we print the abs of any integer or number, for example minus 56, minus 65 for instance, let me run this, it will come as 65. It finds out the positive value of the argument. So if we print the abs of 65, then still the value is 65. But how about printing the abs of the player? So let's print the abs of player. Let me run this. We get 20. Why? Because we have defined the abs dunder method. In defining, we are returning 20 as the output. Perfect. But if we add return self dot energy. For now, let me delete this. So let me check. Perfect. It is coming out as 20. So let me define the int dunder method. So define dunder method int, and the parameter is only self, and the object. So let me return $40. So instead of verbs, let me write int here. Int of let's say 1.5, we get 1. But if we find the int of 1.8, still it is 1, as it reduces the argument. The int function reduces the argument to a whole number, but it does not increase the argument value of the argument. So how about printing the int of the player object? So if I run this, the int of player object is 40, because we have while defining the function, we have returned 40 as the output. So instead of 40, let me return self.speed. Now if I run this, the player speed is 40 as shown here. So we have printed 40 in the terminal. Perfect. So how about creating different objects? So here, let me copy all of this and paste this here. So here, let me name this class as robber. Everything will remain the same. Instead of printing this text, the player has shorter robber. Instead, I am going to write the robber has shot the player. This will remain same. So instead of player, let me write here robber robber equals to, instead of player let me write robber, as I've named the class as robber. So robber health, let me delete this and let me keep on printing, typing this by Ctrl C, means copy, and we will paste it 3 times some different lines. So here instead of health let me print energy. Here instead of health let us write speed, and here instead of health let us write bullets. So here let me write health equals to 50, energy equals to 60, speed equals to 80, and bullets equals to 50. And let me change this value of, let me write here have the robber object here. Instead of player here also robber, the robber object. So let me print this. And perfect. We have done this. And how about hasAtter and setAtter? hasAtter checks if the object has the attribute or not, and setAtter adds an attribute in the to the object. So here let me write, let us print in the terminal a hasAtter. So here the object, and after that the attribute written in string, the attribute or the attribute name also. So health, let us check for health. So let us check this, and yeah, the player has the attribute health. Perfect. But how about weapon? So if we run this, false. The player does not have the attribute weapon here. And if we set the object to robber, and we check, then it is false. And how about the attribute name bullets? Yes, the robber object has the attribute bullets. Perfect. It is used as a boolean hazarder. So let's jump into setator. So here let me type here setator player. It is the object player. The name the attribute weapon, and the value will be red rifle. So let us print the recently added attribute in setator, which is player dot weapon. So if I run this, perfect. The weapon the player is using is red rifle, or the object the player object is using is red rifle. How about setting it to robber? The weapon only rifle. So let us print robber dot weapon. The weapon or the weapon the robber is using. So let us print this, and perfect. The robber is object is using the rifle weapon. So that's the end of this video. I hope friends you like this video. So please like, share and subscribe my channel. See you in the next video, and for now, bye bye.